another episode of Unapologetic with Eric King on WOVU 95.9 FM. Well, it is Wellness Wednesday, and well, no, it's not. It's brother to brother Wednesday, right? It's brother to brother Wednesday, and this is the day that we give all types of shout outs and big loves to the brothers that are out there that are listening to us. For some reason, Ivor, I have not allowed myself to progress on mentally as time moves on. How are you doing on this new year, on this brother to brother, before we jump into it?
I'm ready to just get it on.
Get the just year on?
Just get it on. Get on with it.
Well, it was interesting. So next week we're going to have my kid brother from another mother, James Bates, on, and he's going to be fresh off of the Trump inauguration ball that he'll be a part of. So he'll be on next week. But for this week, this is our first show in the new year of Brother to Brother. And as I told you last year, we have a new sponsor, so Code M. So we'll have our regular mix, in a little while. But then, later on, around 12:37, so to speak, 36, 37, we'll give a call over to Blau Akram. He is the co-founder of Code M Magazine. He is the CEO as well. He's done a lot of great things. So he's going to be our new sponsor for this year. What you think about that as it relates to having a sponsor for Brother to Brother? What you thinking?
We have arrived.
We
are here officially.
We are here. WOVU let us in the building, and so by letting us into the building, he's allowed us. They've allowed us to be a part of their birthday celebration. So this is their birthday celebration. We got to do a shout out to everybody that's here. WOVU have been on the air. What is it? 7 years? 7 years, I think. I got to go back in my head, in my brain to think about it. But seven years. How many years, Uni? 7 years. We've been on the air for 7 years. So big shout out to everybody that has made WOVU amazing place. Have welcomed me back for my second term, like your boy Trump.
No, he didn't.
I did. But I ain't burned down the building though. Didn't nobody come in and storm in the building or none of that. But yeah. So this is our first brother to brother. So this episode we're gonna do what's called the brother to brother year end wrap up. We're gonna give the best ups and downs of the year for us brothers this year. What's funny is this idea of relationships that has been just kicking around. I don't know how deep you want to go in on relationships this go round, but this idea of relationships and everything that has what's the word I'm looking for? That has been going around within our community as it relates to why men don't date, why we don't stick and stay. So that's one. So this year we've been triumphant. We made some proud challenges and tested, and our resilience as black men, as black fathers, have been tested. Black fathers have stepped up and got that S on their chest, and superhero. Hip hop artists are coming out a little bit more. Definitely the aged hip hop artists. So we had LL came out with his CD or his album. A couple other ones came out. Some old heads, as they say, came out this year. So we're gonna talk about that. We also, did a spotlight on black, masculinity. Some of the things that we've questioned this year. As it relates to how we treat our kids, how we treat ourselves, how we treat each other. So we've talked about that. But my number one question, or the question that I got for today, and you guys can reach out to us on 216-271-0959. My question today is, what is the toughest lesson, for you that you have learned? So I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to Ivra right quick my fault. We got our resident Ivor. Dorian is out today.
Hello.
On our brother to brother. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this out. What was the toughest lesson you learned this year that also humbled you as a man?
That unless you are doing your best, you're not doing enough.
Okay, say it one more time. So let me get your levels. Go do it again.
Unless you are doing your best, you are not doing enough.
Is that the toughest lesson?
It's tough because sometimes you feel as though you are doing what's required.
Yeah.
But you kind of got that hold back, that reserve.
Yeah.
I think your family deserves all you have.
Okay.
Now, there's an element of grace, giving and receiving, from your spouse and giving to your spouse. But unless you're doing your best, you're not.
You're not what, though?
You're not giving it all. You're not giving it all. And I think sometimes we don't put all the effort into it and still think we can get over the top.
Okay.
When, the people around you we deserve the best from each other.
Yeah.
But then I think also, as I was looking at that question too, is when you're talking about dating and relationships, I think what we need to remember as Black people is that we are not the enemy of one another.
Okay.
And I think for centuries, we've fed into that stereotype or to the notion that we are the enemies of one another, which is just simply untrue.
Yeah.
And I think we have to focus on that fact first and foremost, that, as you're walking down the street and you see the brother, you know what I mean? There ain't no need to go to the other side. Just give him a what up and keep it pushing,
So, give him a head nod.
Yeah.
Is what you
Fist
basically
bump,
saying.
head nod.
Fist bump,
Whatever
head nod,
it is,
all
a
that.
greeting.
Okay. Now, this is the crazy part. We supposed to be online, and for some reason, once again, I can't get the mics working. I can't get the mics working online. But we're gonna get it together. Eventually, we gonna get all this together to where we're online and listening, and so people are looking at us, but there's absolutely, they can't hear anything.
Okay.
But so the toughest the toughest lesson that I learned this year that left me humble was this idea of being chosen. So I've said it once before, and I've said it again, that one of the things that have, I've dealt with, in my mom life, or realizing during therapy, is that no one, my parents, never chose me. And so by not choosing me, that was something that was humbling, that, in each instance of my life, I was, perpetually looking for people to choose me. So I'm not sure what to do about that or how to do about that, but we're going to figure it out along the way and see how I can, work it out. But maybe it's something that I'm, not supposed to work out. Because what your parents are and what your parents do is exactly, up to them.
Yep.
So
Control the controllables.
right. So today we're celebrating those big wins. We are going to celebrate our small wins. So we're gonna we're gonna jump into it. And last week, you weren't here, but last week we started a new thing, and that new thing was we're gonna do what's called a midday mix.
Okay.
All right. So that midday mix, keep the calls coming. So that's 216-271-0959. I call it the Hump Day Mix. And the job of what it's supposed to do is to come through the speaker, which it isn't. But the job of what it's supposed to be doing is getting us going and getting us ready for our next segment. So we got an old school mix because we old school.
Yes.
And we gonna do it. We're going to do it old school style.
Okay.
So stick and stay while we do our Hump Day Mix, and I'll see you on the other side. Yeah, this week is, I think it's DJ 9. So we're going to go ahead and take our first break, but I appreciate you guys sticking and staying with us as we go through our mix, our first, Brother to Brother Mix Day Mix. So we're going to see you on the other side of a break, and I'll see you in a minute. Peace. Welcome back. And I appreciate you guys who were there participating in our midday Hump Day Mix. Think we got everything taken care of online?
I think so.
You think so? I think we just had a bad line. All right, so let's jump back into this. Let's get things going. Why is our speaker so loud?
It's very loud.
It's very loud. Let's turn that down.
It's very loud.
All right, so let's jump back into it. So what I want to do is go back to our topic, and we're really talking about or wrapping up this idea of brother to brother, and also how we are choosing to celebrate our manhood and celebrate everything that we got going on. So as you reflect, Ivor, on 2024, what's one story or trend in Black community that really stood out with you, and why?
To me, it's our involvement in social media
Mm-hmm.
and how it's just affecting our lives daily. That caused me this year to pull back a little bit from social media, to delete. I deleted IG. I would like to delete Facebook, but my aunties are on there looking at the babies, so I won't do that.
Don't delete the aunties.
And I kind of don't mind if TikTok goes away.
Yeah. Why is that though?
Because I think we're looking for, well, there's a certain number of folks that are looking for a come up to become an influencer.
Yeah.
But there's the attention span that is getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and I would like to see us just become more educated. Even though Black women are the most educated subgroup within our population, it feels like the masses are getting less educated. I don't want to be disrespectful and say that we're getting dumber, but it feels like we're being poorly educated. And I think that we need to take the responsibility of educating our children beyond what we allow the Cleveland City Schools or Solon City Schools or whatever.
Wherever you live.
We need to take the responsibility to educate our children and supplement, because I think it's a matter of supplementing.
Yeah.
Supplementing the education that we see in school to make sure that our kids have the proper knowledge.
I think in reality, I think every generation has dealt with a specific aspect of education.
Right.
And I can't say that in this day and age right now that the new medium by which we're educating or kids are becoming overly educated or becoming educated at, is any different than when they used to talk about, gangster rap or hip hop. Even to the extent, they used to talk real bad about MTV and VH1 and BET's, the videos. So I'm not sure. You remember them days?
I remember those days.
I guess my challenge is because as we're growing up, or as we're getting older, we've already grown up, but we're getting older. As we're getting older, the idea is the things that were in our generation was positive. What I've noticed, or the trend that I've noticed in the Black community, they're picking up on the generational debates. So I haven't, for the most part, when I use my, IG. So if you go to Talk to E King on IG, what comes up more is a generational battle outside of our community, but it has trickled in, meaning as in the Gen X, the Gen Z, the boomers, and stuff like that. Yeah. That is something, if I'm looking at a trend that stood out, is more because now we're no longer the dominant, class of generation. And what I've noticed is, to go back to that education piece, the internet is educating our kids on what our generation was. Now, as an individual who had boomer parents, who educated you about your boomer parent, your boomer parents' generation? Who was that?
Your boomer parents themselves.
In what way, though?
So the dynamic between I love the dynamic between the boomers and Gen X because that was my experience. Okay. And I feel as though if we could have had a little bit less of the abusiveness. So if there was no, because think about this. Think about coming home with the key around your neck.
Yeah.
Letting yourself in and handling your business.
Yeah.
Okay. But then, so that to me doesn't feel bad. Like, I think our kids need a little bit more of that. I think we tend to do, and I'm also an older parent of younger children.
Yeah.
And so, whereas a lot of my Gen X counterparts have raised their kids and are looking at grandkids, I've got kids in 9th grade, 4th grade, 3rd grade.
Something like that.
We are learning that making your kids do things for themselves, the consequences of going outside in this 18 degrees with a sweatshirt and Crocs. Partner, you just about to have some wet feet today at school.
That was more, right? Yeah. But that is that a generational fight? What did you go outside and your parents were, upset that you went outside in?
Sneakers.
Sneakers.
I got cracked for going outside in sneakers. Boy, you better go get some boots on. So now it's like, and one of the things that I learned in therapy is that there's a certain element of if it doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter. And so understanding where you just gonna be cold as you wait for the school bus versus you could get frostbite, right? Like where's the line?
Is the idea that it matters though?
Say that again.
Is the idea that it matters in the long run?
You just have to finding out the things that will matter.
Okay.
Finding out like I'm not gonna let my kid, even though he would like to, take the chance on getting frostbite. Mm-hmm. I'm not even gonna let him take that chance because that's one of those things that you ain't gonna grow your finger back, knucklehead, if it comes up. You know what I mean? Like having those type of conversations where we know
you're not going to grow anything.
Digit ain't coming back, son. Let's just not lose it to begin with.
Let's be responsible, why don't we?
Right?
So the idea of us as parents educating our children. So most of the individuals that graduated with me, you're right, they did. They went on and they have grandkids and all this other good stuff. With that said, the other part of this is not only do they have grandkids, they also have different struggles in being grandparents. So I think I'm going to enjoy being, and this is something that's come up in therapy, and I've said to my therapist that I believe I'm going to make a better grandparent than I did as a parent. And so she asked me why. I said because there's less pressure, and having less pressure provides. I'm recognizing a level of freedom for the grandparent. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, but I think that's the same with every generation, though, right?
I think so too.
Because Pop can show up. And bring the donuts.
Yeah.
Whatever it is his little baby girl loves or his little dude likes most.
Yeah.
Nana and Pop can show up with those things. A great example is like at our house.
Did you just have a moment?
I had a moment at Christmas because I have been trying to reduce the number of boxes that get opened for Christmas.
During Christmas.
Right? Because there is an element of gratitude that I need to instill. Mm-hmm. So my kids still are of the age of Santa Claus. So Santa brings one gift each. Yeah. And then mom and dad, we fill in to the point. And we've started to trend away from buying a whole bunch of stuff. But then Nana and Pop show up. Like
Nana and Pop. Man,
the whole back of Pop's trucks get like literally the entire bed of his Nissan Frontier had gifts, and so there's no pressure for them. It's all fun.
And so that's why I always say, as a father, there's a certain level of hardness that I had to have that I didn't enjoy, that I don't enjoy, because I'm still raising kids. Right. The only beauty of it is that raising my daughter, I have to have a different level of hardness. And I'm not even sure if it's hardness. I don't even know what to call it. I guess just sternness or consistency or whatever have you. So I'm very glad that my last child is a daughter because I get to try out new stuff, right? When the guy comes over.
That's
right?
That's funny.
There's a different. So I'm going to start I'm going to start molding the guy that my daughter decides to be with, rather than molding the guy that my son or someone else's daughter is going to be with.
Well, so
as a father,
I think that there is still that Gen X. I can show you better than I can tell you. That is part of my makeup.
Why? What are you thinking about? What are
just
you
in
thinking?
general, as a dad of a
Like, wait.
dad
You
of
can't.
daughters.
So wait, those that are online can see Ivor when I said that started smiling. But individuals that that are listening over the radio, you couldn't see it. What are you talking? Make it plain, as the preacher say.
So we still grew up in the time where we still grew up in a time where you say something crazy, you might get punched in the face.
Correct.
And so
you mean you and I,
yes,
or
yes. So
yes.
as still having these younger kids, so we're still teaching these kids. Like, I'm in my mind, I'm trying to make it.
You can't just make it plain.
I'm trying to make it okay for the radio. So as we are raising these children now, and I love being an older dad.
Yeah. What is it like for you being an older dad?
I love being an older dad because there's just.
Are you calling yourself older, or are your kids calling yourself older?
I'm definitely older because I go to these parent functions and I'm 12 to 15 years older than the other parents. And so I don't even mind because I can go in and understand like the wisdom of it all. Don't care. I love it. Because I walk into a situation and I've experienced, like, y'all ain't getting old. I'm not falling for the okie doke first.
The general parenting stuff?
I'm not.
As a father, do you general parent?
I'm not. No.
As a father, do you general parent?
I don't have that.
Why not?
That's not in my toolbox.
Why not?
Because
was it beat out of you?
As I've learned in therapy, that wasn't how I was raised, and so that's just not. I don't have that, and my son needs it a little bit more.
Yeah.
My daughter needs it. My oldest daughter, I don't know.
Straight mollywhopping. So I'm gonna get off of that one because
like Jimmy Fly Snooker.
From your perspective, right? The overall lesson. So what are some lessons black men, should carry forward in 2025 that they learned in 2024?
Listen, we are outstanding.
Okay.
We are present.
Okay.
We are not perfect.
Yeah.
But we are present. And we do not need to, and this is the thing, this right here is one thing that I want to give the bros out there today, is that we don't need to take the stuff from our white counterparts and not take the stuff, but we don't need to assume any of their identity. That's not us.
Yeah.
We are not the enemies of the black woman. We are not the enemies of our children. We are present. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing, we moved up here from Columbus almost 5 years ago now in an effort for my kids to be closer to my other child. Mm-hmm. And I'm never going to allow anybody to tell me that that's not what I should have done. Okay.
What do you mean, move up?
Move up here and just do the things that I've done for my daughter, regardless of how it's affected my, work life or relationship. I believe that as a dad, I had a great example for a father and a great example for a mom, but as a dad, what I saw my dad do, mm-hmm. I have to try to apply what I saw to my situation. Right. And the takeaway from me being parented is that dads do what they have to. In order to do as much as they can. In order to raise those healthy babies.
There you go. And I think that part is missing. That second or that latter part is that we're doing exactly what we need to do in order to raise, a competent child. Now, no matter if you are a black individual and you marry someone outside of your race, your child is still going to be viewed as black, especially if they're of darker hue. So when you're going to this concept of raising black kids, or when we're talking about raising black kids, a lot of people say, well, my child is mixed race and A, B, and C. So we've had a lot of, so this year, so let me go to my takeaway. Let me go to my takeaway, or one of the things that I want to carry on into 2025, for the black community and black men, is that we're all, stop taking the blame for stuff. Stop taking the blame for someone calling you a deadbeat dad, even if you're attempting to stay. Stop taking the blame because you don't have $1 or $2 to take somebody out to an expensive restaurant. Stop taking the blame for any violence that happens in your organization or in your community. Stop taking the blame for someone saying that black men don't support black women, because during the election time, that is the one thing that we heard.
Yep.
is that black men are not going to support Kamala Harris as president. Now the stats shows is that, and I'm gonna ask James this next week. My very first question to James is going to be, why do America hate women?
Because that's real.
Right? And I guarantee he's going to come back with something else. I got a second follow-up just in case he's listening. I don't want to add that in, but I have a follow-up to that. So for, the lesson that I would like to move forward or carry forward, especially for men, is just simply to stop taking the blame for, things, period.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
So that's, yeah, go ahead.
We got to take care of us. Mm-hmm. Like that's how I'm looking at this moving forward for these next 4 years.
Okay.
And that is the people in your circle. First of all, let's find the people in my circle that care about me.
Right.
And let's surround myself and make my circle and reinforce. Let's galvanize your circles with the folks that actually care about you. And just pay attention, because the folks that don't care about you done told you they don't care about you before, but you ain't listening. Right?
They've already told you how they feel about you.
They've shown you, and they've told you clearly that they don't care. So find the folks that actually care about you and love you for you, and keep them folks close, and you pour into them and let them pour into you, because we have a great community, and we just need to cultivate, down where my boat is parked in the summertime, nothing but black folks, man. And I could not be happier. There's times when we get on each other's nerves.
Well, yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's our community. That's our space.
Yeah.
And we need to cultivate it and strengthen it.
Okay. When you look at the 50th anniversary of, I turned 50 and hip hop both turned 50. And we look at someone such as Kara was one. I think he came out with some new Eminem and LL linked together on some things. When you're looking at some of these these individuals that grew up listening to, coming out with new artists, what are some messages you think they're trying to tell the new artists?
Longevity, man. Like because the folks that are still making music today are the folks that made quality music back in the day.
Yeah.
Right? Like KRS, LL. I don't see Milli Vanilli or the Sonic, or you know what I mean, like the people that have that longevity, the folks that you could consider to be the GOAT or whatever. Right. If they are still with us, they were making quality music then, and they're making quality music now. And really, just be true to your art, whatever that may be. Whether you're putting paint to a wall or words to vinyl, words to digital, whatever you do. But be true to your art and be true to yourself.
When you look at, so how do you feel, and I hate to say this because this is one of those white brush, things. How do you feel, and we got to do this quick so we can jump off at 12:30, in about a minute. How do you think the image of hip hop shaped, so now it's 50 years old, over the 50 years, how has hip hop shaped the image of black men?
Poorly.
Overall?
Because of the way it was, because of the receiver, not because of the artist.
Because of their receiver.
Because of the person that was ingesting our art, didn't understand our community.
Okay. All right, so we're going to take a quick break. On the other side, we're going to pull up Bilal Akram. He is the CEO and co-founder of Code In Magazine, who is also going to be our sponsor for this segment and a couple different segments. Just this segment. Let's be real. So let's go ahead and take a quick break, and on the other side, we're going to tap Bilal in. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is Unapologetic with Eric King on WOVU 95.9 FM. Welcome back. I do want to end or continue on the idea that we were talking about before. So go back to the hip hop question before we bring on Bilal. Go ahead. That's you.
No, it was. I think when you look at the purity
Okay.
of hip hop
Yeah.
in the street,
All right.
talking about what we were experiencing in
Right.
those times, I think the art was pure. I think what ended up happening is that it gets bastardized and tainted by the media.
Okay.
And I hate saying that, but
it's true.
but our movies, pop culture shows black people in just an incorrect light.
Right.
And so then you get the white suburban kid that's listening to this music, and their parents hear the beat, and their stereotypes infiltrate our art.
Yeah. The overall idea of what the art actually meant.
Is.
So
the receiver, in that sense, to me, received a message that we weren't sending.
Okay. So I do want to bring in the co-founder and CEO of Code M Magazine, who is our brother-to-brother sponsor this year. It is Bilal Akram. What's going on, B? You out there?
Yeah, I'm here, brother.
What's going on, man? How you feel?
Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good, thank you. And I want to make one correction.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you say co-founder, it's only because it was God in me.
Well, that means every organization has a co-founder then. Every organization.
There you go.
Every organization has a co-founder. But I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate you, wanting to be a part of Brother to Brother and to be a part of Unapologetic with Eric. So my first question to you is, when I reached out to you to do the partnership, other than our friendship, what are some things that that you wanted to accomplish with this sponsorship?
Well, first of all, thank you. That it was an honor that you to think of me and think of Code M to be on this platform with you. I think it's such an important platform to be able to collaborate with other like-minded organizations, such as what you're doing, such as UCO, Brother to Brother, this platform, to support, to show our communities that we can work together. No one organization has all the answers, and collectively, if we put our brain power, we put our efforts and our energies together, there's no problem that we can't solve.
And the idea that you, roughly about, I guess, around the time that this actual studio has been going on, you decided after leaving or on your way to retirement from the firefighter or being a firefighter or the fire department, you decided that the world needed something like Code M. So before we jump into it, tell the people what Code M is and why you decided, roughly about 5 to 6 years ago to start this project and start this initiative.
Code M Magazine is a digital magazine platform to highlight and celebrate men of color. Not just men, but women as well, but primarily men. In my research around 2017, when I was retiring from the fire department, I started doing research on, let me back up. I, as director of EAP, the Employee Assistance Program, I counseled men and women in the public safety sector, usually men and women of our melanin, of our skin tone. And I had, the tenets of EAP are free, voluntary, and confidential.
Okay.
And I counseled police, fire, EMS, and other city personnel for the city of Cleveland. And I had so many brown and black men in my office under the purview of privacy and confidential. I had so many black and brown men breaking down crying.
Right.
And that hurt me to the core. It made me to wonder, to explain and look at, why are we suffering in silence?
Okay.
I can say I suffered in silence because, as a black man, we're proud. Your boys ask you, "You okay?" Yeah, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. We got
We
so
lie.
much happening inside. Right, exactly. We put that mask on. We're so used to code switching on the job that we code switch with each other, not for acceptance, but for protection.
Yeah.
So I started looking around the media and realizing no one is talking to men of color. You look at the media outlets, we're either incredible athletes, incredible performers, athletes, entertainers, or criminals.
Right.
And I'm looking at people that I'm associated with in my community and people I know moving and doing things around the country, brothers like you, and I'm like, nobody's telling our story.
Right.
So I had a mentor, Alex Boone, and she, promotes or she publishes CL magazine for women of color.
Okay.
And I shared my idea, and she says, "B, go ahead, start it. I'll help you." And that's how Code M was born. Our first issue was published in January of 2018, and we came out the box with Hill Harper on the cover.
Nice, nice. Now, when you and Ivory, you can jump in. So we got our resident co-host during Brother to Brother, Ivra is on there. Do you got any questions before I jump in on him?
I think sometimes can you explain, sir, please? So a lot of times, and I'll explain my question. A lot of times we see folks that don't understand why we have to isolate and show and do things specifically for Black folks. Can you explain your thought process behind that?
Oh, well, first of all, we're marginalized. Like I said, mainstream media are not celebrating Black men. They're villainizing us, and we need to talk about who we are. We got to tell our own stories, not just for this generation, but to leave a legacy for the next generation to look at and say, "Hey, they did it. We can do it."
Mm-hmm. Lovely. I love it.
When you decided, right, you took that first step and you went out into a world that, because Code M magazine is an online magazine, you jumped into a world that was on their way, to recreating, how they did business. When you decided to step out there and you put that foot out there, can you talk about some of the things that you needed, and I'm gonna say need, in order to lift you up and move you forward during that time?
Well, first of all, I think because of what I didn't know, it didn't stop me.
Okay. Right.
now that I'm in it, I'm like, "Whoo, I don't know if I should have did it."
Right.
The first thing I'm gonna say is I did a vision board.
Okay.
And I sat in my den, and I just had an old poster board and some markers and some ink pens and a ruler, and I just kind of asked the Lord to give me a vision.
Okay.
And the vision He gave me was so overwhelming. I said, "Lord, I can't do this." And the answer that came back said, "It's not about you."
Okay.
So first of all, Code M is not about me.
Right.
It never has been and never will be something tied with my ego. It's all about my giving back to my communities, and I'm a vessel that the Lord is using to help uplift men of color, not just in Cleveland, not just in Ohio, not just in the United States. I think we have the potential to uplift men of color all over the world.
Very nice. Now, the question that I have is, so this newest edition, who's on the front, and how did you get them?
The January cover is Wesley Gillespie. He's the president of Erie Bank.
Okay.
And the incredible thing is, before, when we first started, we didn't have a brand. We would, try to find our footing, and okay, which way do we go? And we asked people, to do a cover, and we got a lot of rejection. Well, we don't know you. What's your platform? You're not Ebony or Essence. Well, Ebony and Essence and Jet, they had to start from somewhere, And now, to be honest, we're being compared to an Ebony and Essence and a Black enterprise all in one for black men.
Very nice, very nice.
So, so just to be, and I think about it, and I'm thinking long term.
Right.
We're only, we started publishing in 2018. We're only 6 years into the game.
Okay.
6 years on this journey,
right,
which is a short time for a publication.
Right.
Exactly. And the good thing is we are a debt-free company, so we don't have to ask anyone to what we want to publish in our content.
Say that again. That means you have total control on the message that goes out. You have no one that needs to be asked or paid off or anything like that.
Correct.
Love it.
We have no overseers to ask to look and criticize or critique what we're putting out.
Oh, I love that. All right, so let's wrap this up. So as a part of being a sponsor, it is our hope that you will provide us with some nuggets that is coming from the magazine. So if you could give us 3 nuggets coming from the magazine, and also how to subscribe and download the actual magazine.
Well, you can subscribe to the magazine easily just by going to www.codemmagazine.com. So there are two M's in the middle. Code, C-O-D-E-M, and then the word magazine.com. Free to subscribe. You know, we ask people if you like it, share it, throw it on your social media. We put real people in the magazine. When I say real people, it's not just celebrity driven or entertainment driven.
Right.
We put people who are doing things, effective things, positive things in our community in every issue. So that's helping to drive the organic growth of the magazine.
Okay.
I just looked at my LinkedIn page today, man. It says you appeared in 64 searches. The companies were Nokia, what was it, IBM. I mean, it was all Fortune 500 companies. So I'm like, okay, so people are noticing us. You know, they're looking at my LinkedIn page, and that, you know, I was kind of impressed with myself today.
You doing big things, bro. All right, so hit us with them three things that them three nuggets that's in the latest edition.
Well, the three nuggets in the magazine is about. It's one is Wesley, talking about Wesley Gillespie.
Okay.
Another thing we're talking about is we always have man codes.
Right.
You know, man codes is like every month we do positive quotes to get people motivated to help them through the month. And the other article we have is when the parents are moving in. You know, we're talking about some of us are in the generation of the sandwich stage generation, where we either have a parent we're taking care of, and or children or grandchildren.
Exactly.
So that's one of the articles that we talked about. But there's always some effectual and positive content in Code M. Our 5 key pillars are emotional, financial, physical, psychological, and spiritual wellness.
Love it.
Everything we do revolve around those 5 components.
Love it. Well, I appreciate you, like I said, not only as a friend, as a brother, as a Scorpio brother as well, and just your willingness to allow yourself to be associated with this program. That airs weekly, but Brother to Brother is every third Wednesday of the month. So every third Wednesday of the month, we're gonna have some nuggets from Bilal. Is that all right?
Sounds good to me.
All right, man. I appreciate.
Keep up the good work. Thank you for what you're doing.
I appreciate it. Now go ahead and get that information where they can reach you.
They can reach me at my email address, Bilal, BILAL AKRAM @code, CODE, Media Group LLC.com, or they can go info@codemediagroupllc.com.
Nice. All right.
That's what's up.
So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back on the other side. But B Money, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you, lending your time, your space to, this program. It is invaluable, man.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate you.
All right, man. I'll see you in a minute. Peace.
Okay, you got it. Peace.
Men of color are living in unprecedented times. They are dealing with unprecedented circumstances. There has never been a brighter spotlight shined on how men of color are perceived, live, and are treated by society. The world is having a new conversation about race. The world is waking up to a new consciousness. In homes, offices, gyms, and backyards, everywhere people of various backgrounds and nationalities are rehashing over the same question. How can I impact the change that is needed right now in America? Code M Magazine was born out of the need to bring to life the celebration, accomplishments, and lifestyles of men of color, published with a purpose to expose the world to the wonderful happenings engaging men of color. Code M Magazine shines the spotlight right where it needs to be. With articles that excel in different occupations, including business, politics, medicine, science, and technology, Code M Magazine offers its readers a new perspective and wide-ranging opinions from highly respected writers on a quarterly basis, for now, with the goal of going monthly in the very near future. We are offering our readers a unique opportunity to become a part of the Code M family by investing in our mission of publishing articles about amazing people changing the narrative of what is successful. We welcome you to take a closer look at Code M Magazine and its family of businesses. Let's get excited. Get involved, and let's make history together, one issue at a time, to show America and the world what magnificent men are really about. Code M Magazine, transforming the lives of men of color.
All right, let's wrap this up. Welcome back. Unapologetic on WOVU 95.9 FM. Let's land the ship. So anything before we land the ship, Ivor, that you want to add about our new sponsor?
Man, I love the concept, and the more we can have positivity surrounding black men in the ether, the better.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of it.
So one of the takeaway of 2024 was growth. I think the community grew. I think we as a whole grew. And we also grew as individuals as well as collective community, right? So individuals within the community. What'd you learn from the day, bro?
That we are outstanding, we are dynamic, and we have a bright future. 2025 is going to be good.
That last point, or your point about hip hop, I don't want to go off, or I don't want to go away from it, because in a sense we all grew up. Those in our generation grew up from it, and I'm not sure if I said this, but I'm just going to go ahead and add this: when everything must mature. Because you as an individual, if you have not, I've spent 50 years on this world. If someone, or someone saw me in middle school or high school and, says, you just like, you were before, I have not done enough. So when I look at hip hop and, when hip hop, officially turned 50, I had one of my friends on and he talked about it. He's in our, demographic as well. He talked about the evolution or the maturity of, the genre, and also the kids of it. And so the kids of the genre are Afrobeats, some of the what's going on in England, with their sound and their, their tone, and also some of this, not only did we have trap, back in the day with T.I., we had down south, we had Detroit, we had West Coast, but we got this new stuff. You got Sexy Red and some of these other ones that I can't name.
I like Glorilla.
Glorilla, that's right. So
she's just pretty. I'm like, she's just beautiful.
Yeah.
She's pretty.
So a lot of what we're doing, we must grow as everything else.
Yes.
All right. So before we jump out, I do want to give a happy Founders Day to my wife and her sororities of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. The brothers of Phi Beta Sigma. My son turned 26. So
what's up, Junior?
Right.
From one junior to the other.
Right. Well, not that one. That's the old one. So I don't want to get out to before saying that and giving them their props and giving everybody their props. So this year, what I want you to do is raise together, be strong together, and be ready to be hopeful, in the coming years. So that is my motivational message. Next week, we have Brother James Bates, fresh off the inauguration. He's going to call in at roughly about 12:37 or, roughly after our mix. So we're going to jump on that and just talk about, what's going on. You can reach us on IG at Talk2eKing. You can reach us everywhere on Facebook, Unapologetic. Can you like and subscribe so that I can bring it over there? And I promise you, those that follow us online, we will get better. So I'll catch you next round. Peace.